Oh, hi. We are here now with Charles Cirtwill. Sorry, I didn't pronounce that right. But President and CEO of Northern Policy Institute.
That's right.
I think you were asking some questions to our leaders today, and there were some pointed questions. I know that the Policy Institute is a great organization that can influence the outcome and influence decision-making that will impact the North. So you have a very important role to play. What was your view of their answers to your questions? And what were the key points that you were making?
Well, I think we have to specify that none of these questions were mine. None of the questions came from the Institute itself. So we were a sponsor of the event, encouraging debate, wanted to see these kind of questions asked and answered. I thought the questions were very northern focused. I thought the issue around MPAC is particularly one that matters to a lot of municipalities. You know, I was in a couple of small municipalities just a week ago. Half their budget is gone when MPAC decided to redesign the way it calculates what a mill is worth. That's a big issue. Some of the things that I was disappointed about was that the larger provincial issues that matter to us weren't discussed. Healthcare didn't even come up at all. End-of-life care, long-term care, home care was briefly mentioned. That was concerning to me that it doesn't seem that that's the types of issues that the leaders of our province want to engage in when they're up here.
Well, you know, in any debate, there's only so much time. They're trying to focus and reaching out to their constituency and presenting their plans. So, like, I think one of the leaders said this is not only for the Northern Ontario, it's for all of Ontario, but Northern Ontario has unique needs. And you have written a guest column in the local paper about that.
Yeah, exactly. The message I was saying in the column is absolutely they should be coming into our communities and debating the issues, but not just the ones that are relevant or specific to that community. Absolutely, you have a couple questions that are very targeted, but they need to be talking about the bigger issues too. They need to talk to us about healthcare. They need to talk to us about trade. They need to talk to us about taxation. They talked a tiny little bit about debt, really with kind of banal kind of promises, and that was pretty much it.
So in your mind, what is the most pressing, there are so many, one of the most pressing issues in Northern Ontario that our viewers need to know, because there are implications in who's going to form the government, how they're prepared to deal in moving our future forward in a positive, progressive way.
Yeah, well, I think in terms of the views you had on display today, there's very little difference between the two of them. Their perspective is very similar. What they would do is very similar. The level of spending is very similar. But in terms of the issues for us, I think the number one issue is sustainability of our communities. That means immigration. That means support for families. That means convincing people to move back here who have gone west or who have gone south, and creating jobs and sustainable jobs for them. We can't just open a mill, keep it open for 3 years. We have to figure out a way to get the mills open, to get the mines open, to build the infrastructure that allows us to get our product to the world.
You raised some really good points, long-term sustainability, because we know in the North we have been subject to the cyclical economic cycles of the primary and secondary industries. Many small towns in our region have almost disappeared when the major employer went out of business. So there is a very good point for them, not so much for Thunder Bay that has been able to diversify its economy sufficiently to make it through the recession, but it's still affecting us, because I believe, and you know that whatever affects the North, whatever affects Northwestern Ontario small municipalities also impacts us here in Thunder Bay and vice versa. So I really appreciate your points, your insight, and good luck, and I look forward to hearing more from the Northern Policy Institute.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. That one.